Boom. Boom. DP. Bach for the next hour. Carricker will take over at 12 noon, do his thing, and off we go. It is Super Bowl week. You guys know the conversations that we like to have. 402-464-5685 is the Sartor Hamann text line. You can be a part of the show. Simply reach out. Hit us with a what's up. You can follow us on all the streams. You can watch Facebook, YouTube, X, channel 961 on Allo. If you're feeling saucy, jump on over to the app. And in fact, you can track this thing anywhere. You can also, you can jump on Amazon Prime if you want, because we roll like that. We roll like that. That's how we're going to do it. It's Super Bowl week. And so a couple of things in play. One, last year we were at the Super Bowl. We're actually in Vegas. And this year, so we put in the credential early because we were going to go no matter what. Like, we were like, okay, we'll go. Originally, the NFL approved, and it was going to be myself, Jay, Jake, Carricker. We were going to all go down and hang out in New Orleans for a week and get on Media Row. And then for whatever reason, when Washington and Buffalo got in, all of their media piled into the pool. And the NFL was like, oh, this is the most requested Super Bowl ever. So since y'all are really, you're coming to provide events, but you're not covering one of the teams. Now, we didn't pile in with the Chiefs. We said, this is what we do all the time. Like, these are your NFL alums. Like, get them in the door. And they were like, fine. Then they were like, well, the numbers are too crazy, so you've been pushed off. And then when Buffalo and Washington lose, oh, by the way, you can come. No, not. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that dance. Like, especially when I know how much it costs to send all four of us to New Orleans last minute. Not really going to happen. Didn't have a chance to sell it. You know me. I like to sell before putting the product on, but that's the thing. But it is Super Bowl week, and there are a couple of things that I want to do this week at various points, and I'll probably do some more of this on Saturday morning for one-on-one. But a lot of the conversation is Huskers in the NFL and Huskers in the Super Bowl. And it sent me down a rabbit hole. Because originally the idea and the thought, and I'll cover the idea in full on Saturday, is what are the greatest individual performances in Super Bowl history? What are the greatest individual performances in Super Bowl history? Now, every Super Bowl has a great individual performance. Every single one. Some have several. As a matter of fact, so much so that they had co-MVPs. So, okay, if you played so well that you were a part of a co-MVP, yeah, you did a thing. So you think of Dallas's defense, that did well. As a matter of fact, think of how well you have to play to be the MVP and lose the game. Because it happened. It happened. But then I wanted to get in a little bit deeper. And I asked Bach a question, and here's where we landed. Bach, sir, what Husker had the greatest Super Bowl performance, individual performance? Now, to be fair, it was pointed out to me that we literally could jump straight to the pipeline, and the members who went pro and then went to Super Bowl and played well. But unfortunately, we don't know the offensive lineman's performance one-to-one, because unless they give up a sack or a false start or a holding, we don't really hear their names. Like, we don't know. We can also say that, yeah, Ndamukong Suh played the Super Bowl. We imagine he played well, but points on the board, not so much. Now, as Strick likes to say, pause. Because we've got two sets of Super Bowl squares that we're working from, right? One that we're giving out this week on air, and then another, the first 100 people who show up at Buffalo Wings Rings. For the ones that are given up here, I'd like to give away 4 today. I'm going to give away 1 right now. With this trivia question, and I'm sure that Bach didn't have the answer to this until just a few moments ago. But what Nebraska Husker actually scored from the defensive side of the ball in the Super Bowl? What Husker defensive lineman, I'm going to help you. It was a defensive lineman, scored in the Super Bowl. And it was funny because somebody was talking, well, what defensive players have scored, and there's not a long line of, pick six, or punt blocks or otherwise, but scored in the Super Bowl. And this is the first one, the very first one. And I want to go back. I'll ask you another question. I will accept an answer for the first, and I know you guys are Googling like madmen. I would prefer that you actually, and remember, cheaters, you only get 1 square in this one. You only get 1 square. So if you've won a square, kindly remove yourself from this trivia question. But this was, and look, Kevin Smith. That's hilarious, Willie. No, it was not Malik Collins. Diving into the Super Bowl trivia pool, it just showed me that a lot is in play here when you talk about Huskers. There is also another thing that what I need from you also for a square, so you can answer that one, defensive player who scored in Super Bowl, the first Husker player who scored in Super Bowl. And then second, who was the first Husker to play in the Super Bowl? Ready? First Husker to play in the Super Bowl. And Bach, I believe you have that answer, so you can track that one down. And then third, here's another one. And it's kind of wrong to go this route. But to honor a great, what Husker has appeared in the most Super Bowls? What Husker appeared in the most Super Bowls? Bach's neighbor, that is partially right, but there is also another name because it was in the same Super Bowl. But hey, Bach, tell your neighbor that we'll give him a square.
That's good for a square.
If that's it.
Yeah.
It is not. Devin, you're a little late. Bach's neighbor got in first. It is, and the answer to that is also not Rex Burkhead. The first Husker to play in a Super Bowl. Big Ty, you are correct. The Husker that has appeared in the most Super Bowls is Mick Tingelhoff, the great late Mick Tingelhoff, who played here and for the Vikings in a just a profound professional career. And I think that when we have the discussions over the greatest offensive linemen, and we often jump straight to the pipeline, that we have to consider and include Mick Tingelhoff in those discussions. It was not David Humm. There's your guy, Dirty Tony, and the boys have nailed it. Bach, give the answer, please.
So for the first one, it's Kent McLaughlin, and Bach's neighbor also put in Warren Powers. So
yep,
both those guys.
Same Super Bowl. Yeah. Same Super Bowl.
So each of those guys get a square here?
Yes. Right. We will do both of those. And then Big Ty gets one for Mick Tingelhoff. And I wanted to go in. There is one answer that still hasn't been given. The Husker defensive player who scored scored in the Super Bowl. Husker defensive player. And we can move past that because there's so much in this. You know that I am a Washington pro football enthusiast. And when I got here, I got super excited at the fact that there were two of my favorite players ever were Huskers and Redskins. And they played in the same Super Bowl in 1972 against the Miami Dolphins. And this is a defense that held the Dolphins to 2 scores, the perfect 17-0 Dolphins to 2 scores. But there is a third Nebraska Husker on that 72 team. Fisher, McDowell, and there's the third Husker. I will give a ticket T-shirt if you can tell me who the third Husker was on that Redskins team. McDowell, Fisher, and it was kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, Tingelhoff was a linebacker, but here's the thing, that if you go and have this sort of career and the longevity that's involved, what I love about this time of year is, Bach, do you tell me if you do this or not? So ESPN will go into, or NFL Network will go into its history of the Super Bowl. And it will go back from Super Bowl I, and it will just run the highlights every year, right? Every year. And every year, I'm such a mark. Like, they know me well too well that when I find out, like the Sunday before the Super Bowl, and they start this, I'm such a mark that I cannot. I tried to ignore all of the Washington Super Bowls. I can't. I record them all. I DVR them all, Bach. I go through and I make sure. Look, I know how they finished. Like, I know the movie. Like, I know the stars. I know the drama. I know the plot. And I am such a sucker because on my DVR is every single Washington Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm such a mark. So, Bach, to you, kind sir, tell the folks who your favorite team is.
I think I've got every single Arizona Cardinals Super Bowl win on my DVR as well, and I didn't set it. So it's not as quite as a celebratory time for me.
Right? So I would assume that is your favorite Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald running to the end zone, looking up at the big screen. It was all over. And, there's a minute and a half or whatever, and the Steelers go down. And right over Ralph Brown, my favorite Huskers, outstretched hand for the Cardinals. San Antonio Holmes catches it in the end zone. Steelers win the Super Bowl. And at least what we got was the Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald cover on the next year of Madden, but no Super Bowl victory.
Okay, we have a winner, and I love this so much. Like, I love our listeners being that connected and caring enough. But there's the thing. So I said the 72 Redskin team, Super Bowl team. Ron McDowell started at defensive tackle. And actually that day he started defensive end. Pat Fisher started at one corner. But there was a third Husker on that Washington team. And I love the fact that the texter put in the 1972 Redskin Huskers. He could have called them the Washington Huskers or the Nebraska Redskins, either way. But the third, and he was what I went to his football camp as a kid. He had a camp in Northern Virginia. As a matter of fact, the three of them were there. Funny, right? That in 1974, there was a Redskins camp. And the guy who spent the most time with me that day was Ted Vactor. Ted Vactor was also a Husker and played on that 72. So 0778, please give your name in the text, and you will also get a square. Good pull. That's a great pull. That's a great pull to get Ted Vactor out of that. There are some interesting things. Bach, since no one's gotten it, did Rico get the clip in?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to play this clip, and this will remove that question from the trivia pool. But here we go. Bach, play the clip of a defensive Husker scoring in the Super Bowl.
44-10, the Bears. 46-10, the Bears. He was down, whistled at safety, Chicago. Henry Waxter from Nebraska. Now, I know you Bear fans even call him Henry Wechter up there, but he told Merlin, did he not, that, hey, they're mispronouncing my name.
Yeah, I love the fact that Dickenberg gave some of the Nebraska accent with it. They're mispronouncing my name.
I've never heard that name until I played that clip.
That part.
Yeah.
That part. Because, again, we get so locked into the same conversations and the same names and the same levels of greatness. But if you told me that there was a Husker defender who scored a safety in a Super Bowl, my mental Rolodex would have just been set on fire trying to recall. And I never hear Husker fans talking about Waxler. Mm-mm. Like, if you're that good, another piece of trivia, ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
That Wexler was a part of the Replacements.
Oh, okay.
Wexler was on the Redskins 87 replacement team and literally just got his second Super Bowl ring because Washington went back and gave the Replacements a Super Bowl ring, and Wexler got one. Like, come on.
So the Replacements, the movie's great, by the way. But as far as what happened that season, the whole roster was out it was a complete holdout?
Yeah. So Washington was one of the few teams where nobody crossed over. Like, that wasn't, they weren't going to do that. And remember the story. I need to have him on one of the ones. One of my best friends is a guy named Craig McEwen. And Craig played tight end for the University of Utah, Washington, and San Diego. He was the last cut at camp that year, at the real camp. They told him to stay ready and stay in the area. He did. He got a girlfriend, stayed there in the area. When the strike happened, he pulled in, and Craig is a big part of Super Bowl. I mean, one, in that he played I think he had 100 yards against Dallas. And in that Monday night game that Tony Dorsett, I want to say it was Harvey Martin, Too Tall Jones, maybe? Yeah, all crossed over before they were playing Washington, because they were like, listen, we're on Monday Night TV. The strike is ending. We're going to cross over it because this could affect the playoffs, right? Because that was the talk, was that, okay. And for Washington, it was important for them to beat Dallas and get at the top of this. Is when Philly, Washington, Dallas were all really super good. The Giants were actually good too. And the Replacements, while they took some of the story, like there was Tony Robinson was in jail. In the movie, they said it was a running back / safety. No, in real life, it was Tony Robinson from Tennessee, and he was in jail, and they got him out to play football. Say what you will. Fantastic story just to go, hey, and they didn't expect him to play. But the guy who was the number one replacement quarterback was a guy named Ed Rubert, who set NFL records for passing in the first day of I think he threw for like 400 yards.
Against replacement players?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, And if you want people to get really funky in Washington, ask them who had the most yards receiving in a game. And they get mad because it was a replacement player. It was Anthony Allen who went bonkers like on the first day. But Craig was a part of the team that beat Dallas on Monday night. And he was a part, they consulted. He's also a big part of the concussion lawsuit with the league because, I mean, Craig's suffering. He's a part, he's a fun dude, and he's a part of the new science that's taking place to help players with CTE. So it's all pretty cool in the space to find out. There were, I want to say 6 or 7 guys who when the strike ended, Washington brought back in, and Craig stayed on the team.
Oh, okay.
There was another tight end, John Brandis. There was Anthony Allen, of course, the receiver who broke records. But there teams around the NFL really had some issue, Bach, because if your season relied on, like, Washington doesn't win the Super Bowl that year without the replacement players. Like so it's always, and on those teams, I know that a guy that in that Super Bowl year, a guy who fought for Craig was a guy from Nebraska, Brian Davis. Davis liked the way Craig played on special teams and fought for him as well. So there were some real rock solid ties between, of course, our own Adam Carricker played for Washington and the Huskers. It's always, like, for me, it's pretty cool how the universe works and to be tied to it. But, yeah, there's a lot when it comes to Huskers and the Super Bowl. We're going to go a step further in that we asked for greatest performances by a Husker in the Super Bowl. And I think, again, we started with being fair to the pipeline because there's some pipeline guys and some defenders who had exceptional days in the Super Bowl, but those are not the ones we remember always, right? We're not gonna just bypass Rucker and Ndamukong Suh and the full. I mean, again, McDowell and Fisher and Vactor and all those guys. But there are some players offensively who had days. And Bach asked the question, how many Huskers have scored? That's what led to finding Wexler, was how many Huskers have scored in Super Bowls. And we started with kickers. So we're going to say Huskers who scored the Super Bowl who weren't kickers. We will go through that list, Bach DP, one-on-one on the ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
M Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. The end of season clearance is going on now with up to 50% off. Stop in now for best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coat, dress pants, and dress shirts. M Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Ella Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit allofiber.com to switch today.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com. Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One-on-one character comes up at 12 noon. Bach, have you ever figured out exactly what they say at the front of Cena's walkout? Exactly what is the word?
I don't know. I could not.
Rico and I spent an hour trying to figure out what it was, and I'm in great mystery over it. So, special guest, we're going to get back to the Huskers in the Super Bowl talk, but there are very few things that take precedent at this station than good food. And when Tipsy Tina's comes in the building, we pause. As Strick says, we pause and celebrate. Mr. Stewart, please introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Nathan Stewart. I'm the co-founder of Tipsy Tina's and McKinney's Irish Pub.
And can we shout out your wife now?
Sure.
Like, since she's doing the heavy lifting with marketing and branding, please let's give her some flowers.
My wife Shani Stewart takes care of all of our marketing, does all the photography for all of our food. She also gets in the kitchen, does cooking, she does prep, she does about everything. She started helping me out a lot more with the restaurants about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
She also has a photography company. She was a CPS worker for about 8 years, and decided that after we opened up our third restaurant, she should probably help me out a little bit and take some stress off me.
Let me ask you why you're here. The idea behind running multi-concept restaurants is difficult. That's a thing that was in my past. So I understand the challenges of trying to create and maintain an Irish pub restaurant menu, all of the food supplies, different liquor, different events that go on there versus Tipsy Tina's and otherwise. For you, in the is there any crossing of sabers in what you provide for one or the other?
Yeah, there is some. One thing with the Irish pub, of course, everyone knows Irish is whiskey. and you know, Tipsy Tina's.
Nathan said it. Yeah. Nathan said
it. and you know, Tipsy Tina's, we are the biggest tequila bar. And
that needs to be the lead. Like, you know, that needs to be the lead.
Right now, when we last time I checked, we have 268 different bottles of tequila on our shelves.
I don't believe you. Bach and I are going to need proof.
Right.
We're going to need proof.
Get the test.
How many? How many?
268 bottles.
How many are there?
Oh, tequila in the last probably 5 to 6 years has exploded. So you had, if you go back in the early 2010s, you had wine, which was really popular. Then bourbon had its really big run.
Yeah.
And then tequila took over. I think we have about 20 to 25 different brands right now of tequila that are owned by celebrities. George Clooney, I don't want to say it, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, George Strait, Kardashians. I mean, you can just continue to go down the
What
list.
do you carry any of the celebrity tequilas?
Yeah, we do. Yep. The most popular is probably George Clooney's, which is Casamigos.
Okay. So you put that on the list of things.
Michael Jordan, we have his bottles. His bottles are anywhere from
pricey.
$20 to $45.
No, not as pricey as I would think.
It depends on what brand you want. I mean, not brand, but what style. From the Añejo to the Blanco, it kind of goes up.
One week we're gonna have to come in and explain the difference.
Yeah, I can bring some down here. And
that part. That part was yeah. Come on through. Yeah. We will actually line them up, do a taste test, and let folks know. And then I also we were talking off air, but I do want to include you in some of the stuff we're doing with Husker student athletes.
Oh yeah, we would love to.
I think it would be some great content to have them come over in either place.
Yeah, we've done in the past. We did a lot with the rugby team for McKinney's Irish Pub. Of course, Irish and rugby go together. It's very popular there. We've done some things with some of the volleyball players at Tipsy Tina's, and we're always willing to help out and do as much as we can.
We'll send over some athletes. We have, especially some of the wrestlers, and we were talking about that as well, that you can provide like clean food. And people think with tacos in full that often, you do pretty healthy.
You do, yeah. And what do? We do offer a fried corn tortilla shell, but we've switched to a soft shell because it is a little bit cleaner in it. We also do have about 3 or 4 different salads on our menu, and you get to pick your protein, so you can do something clean like just like grilled shrimp. We also do barbacoa, which is a little more heavier, but we do have those options too. And the vegetarian options too, we have a sweet potato. And we also have, I'm having a brain fart. We have our sweet potato, then we also have a veggie taco too.
So the sweet potato taco, how would you dress that up? Walk me through it.
So what it's a sweet potato, and we cut it up in cubes, and then we just steam it on a flat top.
Okay.
And then we top it with avocados.
That sounds like a win.
I did bring one in today.
You brought one.
Yeah, because I think Farley asked for one.
He usually does, yeah.
Yeah, and I brought the 2 shrimp tacos in for him because I know they don't like pork.
Let's go through. You brought a special today. What else did you bring?
So we brought Al Pastor.
So walk me through that.
So Al Pastor is pork that is normally cooked over a fire grill with pineapple, and it's a very sweet pork, and it's going to be shredded, not grounded up like chorizo.
And then if on your plate, craft the perfect taco.
Like if I were to make myself a perfect taco,
what's your perfect taco?
It's gonna kind of sound bad, but that's kind of gonna be carne asada, some shredded cheese, and some lettuce.
Right, and keep it simple. No, I mean, but
that's like
but
the
that tells me
gringo
how
taco right there. You know?
No, but that tells me.
I mean, I'm from Grand Island, so we have a very big Hispanic neighborhood. And I go to a taco truck and I
Did
get
you
carne
just call
asada and
that
I
a
ask for some
gringo
shredded
taco?
cheese and lettuce on it, and they'd be like, "Okay,
Nathan, you just called that a gringo taco, man. I am done. That is
that's what they used to call it when I would order at one of my favorite Mexican restaurants.
that is hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Are you doing anything special for Sunday?
We're going to be opening up early for the basketball game. McKinney's is actually going to be opening up a little bit earlier because we also have a Liverpool game that morning.
Okay.
So we're a big soccer bar.
Okay.
But no, I'm just excited. Hopefully the weather will get a little bit warmer and have a good crowd. I know with the last 2 wins now, we're excited. I mean, it's kind of disappointed that we lost some of the games we lost this year, of course, Iowa and Rutgers.
Yeah.
And if we don't lose those games right now, we're,
If
going into the tournament.
Yeah, if they sit at 500 and their ranking would be top 35 if they had won either of those games or both of those games. But I think time will tell. Like, you are who you are, and if you're still figuring it out in February, there are a lot of teams that are, especially with new players across it. How's business for Husker volleyball, basketball? How's business?
Basketball's been great.
Yeah.
Volleyball was good this year too. Being in being in a Haymarket is kind of a destination from getting from the Haymarket to Bob Devaney, so we don't get as much.
Okay.
But basketball's been great. We have great customers. I mean, we have the same guys that come down, the season ticket holders. You see every single home game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's been good. Just kind of getting excited for spring to come around. January is always a very slow time in the restaurant industry.
Do you do anything for baseball, softball?
We've done some stuff in the past
Yeah.
for baseball. We always make sure we have like all the streaming channels so we can show it. Baseball has been kind of hit and miss, kind of depending on the time of the game.
Yeah.
But last year we had a really good crowd, and I think we're going to continue to build on it. I think some people think walking from the Haymarket to Haymarket Park is a long walk, but it's really not.
No, that's the only way I go.
Yeah. So, I think, especially with the team coming out preseason ranked, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement. I don't think our first home series until like the 1st of March. But
Do you do anything with the different athletes from baseball, softball?
I haven't, and I've wanted to.
Well, that's a thing. You and I,
I would love to, especially baseball is my favorite sport. I actually will occasionally go and do photography for the baseball for 24/7 Sports.
Well, I think there's some things that we can do
Yeah.
to draw. And of course, for basketball, the late run, I mean, we've got some basketball guys, so we could actually dress up the bar a little bit too, to give people a chance to stay there, maybe lengthening those tickets out a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, totally agree.
Give them a reason to stay an extra hour and spend some extra cash. But thank you for always doing what you do.
No problem. I won't be here next week because I'm going to be down in South Padre Island celebrating the Chiefs Super Bowl win. So
go ahead and say it.
Actually, I'm almost to the point where it's like, I really don't want to win again because I don't want everyone sending me hate text messages about the refs and Taylor Swift is breaking the Super Bowl. But
those are the burdens you have. Great, like to win, be Super Bowl champions.
It's funny because all my bandwagon New England Patriot fans now they're just coming at me full force because I went after them, and I was like, oh man, I can't even say anything. I just gotta be quiet and take it.
Receipts, man. When people keep receipts.
Oh man. It's been fun. I'm just hoping it's a good Super Bowl. I mean, I just hope there's no controversial calls. I just hope it's a good game.
Let the folks know if they're looking for a place to watch games on Sunday, whether it be basketball, Super Bowl, or otherwise, watch soccer. What time hours are open for both?
So both
spots?
locations open up daily at 11 a.m.
Okay.
McKinney's is open until 2 a.m. every night.
Okay.
We also, with McKinney's, if you are a big soccer or rugby fan and you have a special request, we have all the streaming channels. So if there's like Six Nations or any EPL games, things of that sort, even the Spanish League, German leagues, all the cups, we always air all those games. Tina's, we have about 28 TVs. So there's always going to be a TV right in front of you to watch any of the games.
The question for all outlets this weekend, Reservations. What's your policy?
Just call ahead. I mean, honestly, for the Super Bowl, it's not as big for the bar business as what it used to be.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been in the industry now been in the restaurant industry for 25 and was bartending when I was 19, about to turn 40. So 21 years. I'll tell you, there's been a big shift in probably the last 5 to 10 years. I think the Super Bowl comes down to a lot of people just wanting to have house parties and stuff. But we'll have like audio on for the game, all that. We have happy hour specials all day on Sunday for the Super Bowl. So we'll have $1 off all of our appetizers and 50 cents off every drink.
So there is Just Cause if you're looking for a place. There you have it. Nate, thank you, kind sir.
No problem.
Appreciate you. We'll throw the break. We'll come back. We'll close out one-on-one and hand it over to Adam Carricker for the 12 o'clock hour.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken figures. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fierce Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fierce Cheese Spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fierce Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly cloudy skies with a few flurries possible and a high around 31. Tonight, cloudy skies and light winds with a low near 22. And tomorrow, a chance of freezing drizzle, otherwise cloudy, the high near 33. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Paint your face. Spray your hair as big as you can spray it. We need young Bach hair. That's for this one. We need baby Bach hair, the long flowing locks, sprayed up.
I'm not sure if I can grow that anymore.
There are people that would pay for you to see whether Bach could grow back the old bearded, long-haired Bach. Bring him back. Bring back long-haired, bearded Bach. We can start a campaign. Bring it back.
I wish. I having trouble. I don't know if I can do it at this age.
You had a child. That
could be part of
it. I think you give some of that away. Whether you like it or not. I think it's a thing. Yeah, I think we should have that. Maybe Kara can do the Ultimate Warrior. Like, he's built for it. He can tie the strings around the bicep, get him some oversized boots to come running down on, come down here, runs 2 laps around the ring, then jumps in and shakes the rope. Like, literally, it's funny how over he was. And then he started talking.
He was not a guy you should hand the mic to. Huh?
Oh, no. No. There are some great promos where Gene Okerlund said that they had a script and then he would just go off script. And Okerlund said he would just stand there having this other conversation in his head about what is he talking about? What, like, he would go into the voice, right? And he would go in full, and he would go to the other universe. Like, he literally would leave his body and go to another universe and then come back and would speak in other languages. It was just spectacular. I would say, I know that you and I had talked about it a little bit, coming off a pay-per-view weekend. That, and then last night, and we can close with this. There's plenty of time this week to talk about Super Bowl and Huskers and all that, but we gave away some squares, and that's good. But Bach I don't know that there's ever been anybody more over, and over is the phrase that deals with psychology and willingness to physically and verbally commit to a wrestler's gimmick. Like, fair?
Yeah.
Is that the psychology has to just match? There has to be some call and response level that fans can bond to, and it's the Go Big Red chant of pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
That when people buy into it and become fully vested in the result and the people involved, that's why one Go Big Red chant leads to thousands, right? And that's the power of it, is that it gets us in one place. And that's really the point of sports, is that it gets you to one place together. And then the power of elevating that space with positivity and cheering, or dropping it down, the opposite is booing, but still elevating the room for whatever reason. Last night, I literally stopped in my tracks at Jey Uso and the crowd response. That when it takes you all the way off script and they just say, screw it, you got 15 minutes. Just go ahead, man. Like, this is earned. I'll ask you the psychology from a wrestling fan. Why is he so over? Because I think that's the greatest marketing and branding. We talk about name, image, and likeness. That the Yeet marketing and the Yeet branding is as good as anything, right? That if Rock had come through during social media, Stone Cold.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of the people who, in this social media level and access, who else? Flair doing, if social media existed during the Flair era, wow. Wow. But what is it about USA? What's happening? Because as a sports fan and as a fan, I'm trying to identify what moves people so much about Jey Uso.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting because it's kind of tough to tell because sometimes it's just one word, right? It's Yeet that seems to be getting
yes.
Over. Yeah.
It's what?
Yeah, from LA Knight.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just something
right?
to get people going. But his entrance, and he's been to be able to involve celebrities in it. He's involved kids in it. But it's just getting people going, and it's kind of funny because I kind of feel bad for Jimmy Uso and all this because the entrance music is the Uso music that Jay just took along with him.
Mine.
Yeah, they did that with the Shield back with Roman too. I mean, sometimes just the guy, one guy gets it.
Mine.
The other people have to find out. But I was shocked to see Jey Uso win, as many of us were. But you can't deny the level of crowd engagement and fan excitement for when he comes in. Now you can critique his spear and stuff which I do.
Yeah.
But as far as just like getting people going, getting the crowd going, which, like you said. And we're quite honest about it. It's wrestling. We all know it's scripted to begin with. So you're not going there to die hard cheer for that the whole point is to have a good time. And he just, quite frankly, is really good right now at getting the crowd all together at once to have a good time.
This was how it was pitched to me. And Dusty Rhodes was the first person to ever say it to me directly. And he said, he goes, I'll guarantee you this. Nobody's ever left an arena that we performed in angry. Because they may have been disappointed by the result. They didn't get their hero didn't win. But their energy level was spent. Nobody leaves it on a full tank. Like you're just like, whew, okay. Okay. And I think that UFC's done a pretty good job of matching some of that. But the fact that WWE is the branding mechanism of all sports. I think that UFC and WWE market at a higher level than even the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. And then I want to shout this thing out. Of course, Takedown Tuesdays today, 4:00, 125 Caleb Smith and heavyweight Harley's coming in the building today. I noticed the thing. I went to Devaney Friday night, and Husker wrestling engagement, the actual wrestlers and coaches out on the floor before their matches, after their matches, signing autographs, taking pictures. I don't know that any other sport does it, and if they all don't do it, follow the lead of Nebraska wrestling, because the engagement, the fan engagement at wrestling matches is at such a high level. I literally applauded the wrestlers signing autographs and taking pictures. So for Husker Wrestling Nation, well done. To the Husker Wrestling Program, well done. And Husker Athletics for putting on a great show. I don't know that any other sport does that. Don't go anywhere. DP out, Adam Carricker. Teeing it up, 12 noon.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive